Okay, Mark Rushton, Ambient Rushton Podcast, number 194. You've just listened to Thread Sleep, a little bit of it. And of course, I have links in the description out to the track on Spotify and Bandcamp. And then I also have playlists featuring Thread Sleep and some other recent ambient music and related music that I've produced under a bunch of different names. And they're out on Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, YouTube Music, Deezer, and Tidal. I also have links in the description to my mailing list, and then a playlisting mailing list that I've been working on at Substack for several months here, along with links to my personal website and the Mark Rushton Gallery. And also follow along with me. If you're on Spotify or on any of the streaming services, think about following along, because I do release music fairly regularly. One thing that I haven't been doing is releasing podcasts lately. And it's been August 2023 since I released a podcast. And this is the beginning of my 20th year of podcasting, of producing the Ambient Rushton Podcast. And in the past, what I've done is mostly just played music, occasionally talked. I'm not really that good of a talker when it comes to the podcast, but I'm trying to get a little bit better. And so I want to play a little bit of the music each month, and then talk about some other music-related things, whether it's my music or the music I release under pseudonyms, or just various other topics. So I thought I'd try to get a little bit better at that. So wanted to talk a little bit about Thread Sleep. I created it last October, and it's a program. I guess it's a programming term. It's Thread Sleep is a cause. Here's a quote: causes the current thread to suspend execution for a specified period. This is an efficient means of making processor time available to the other threads of an application or other applications that might be running on a computer system. And so I always find these little terms here and there. I kind of write them down, maybe write them down in a little book or something like that. And I thought that was such a nice little term that would fit well with sort of with an ambient piece of music, Thread Sleep. And my music is a little different in that doesn't really have a melody. It's sort of, I wouldn't say it's pre-programmed, but there's a lot of setup involved and a lot of limitations imposed on the music. And then of course, once it comes out of the application where it's being created, I use quite a number of effects to achieve the sound that you have there. And again, it's very reminiscent of an album that I put out about a year ago called, the track Severance is on there, and the album's called There Are Always Other Possibilities. And that was an album I made right after I got laid off in 2022. So, but very stylistically similar. If you're looking for something, if you like Thread Sleep, then you'll pretty much like everything on There Are Always Other Possibilities, and in particular the track Severance, which Spotify was kind enough to be putting in an ambient curated playlist for the past year. It's very nice of them to do that. I think it got a little bit play on Spotify radio as well too, and it's done pretty good on Pandora as well. I'm a big fan of Pandora as well. But yeah, I make playlists of my music, and I try to group things together, either like recent things or music that maybe it fits in with other artists too. Because I like to kind of create sort of playlists. I made mixtapes back in the day, and I continue to make playlists, and like I talked about with the playlisting Substack. Playlisting.substack.com. Again, link is in the description. I regularly create and promote playlists on that mailing list. That's a freebie, and stuff that I like, and stuff that isn't my music, and maybe it's the playlists always start on Spotify. Sometimes I distribute them to lots of other different streaming services around the world. So anyway, that's the short of it there. This doesn't really have to be that long of a podcast, but I always try to wing it. I'm always a little nervous about how it sounds, but anyway, again, thanks for listening, and I'll play a little bit more of Thread Sleep here on the other side. And again, links are in the description to Spotify, Bandcamp, and all the other streaming sites where I've added the playlists. Thanks for listening.